But it's time for somebody to get to Washington, D.C. and make demands that we pump money into the working families in our urban centers in the United States. And New York City, of course, being at the foremost urban center and having the foremost public transit system. So we believe that Senator Espaillat is the candidate who will do that. He is the candidate that will begin to put public transit back on the map at the federal level. And brothers and sisters, let me introduce State Senator Adriano Espaillat, our candidate for Congress.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, John. This is a great moment. I am deeply proud and honored and grateful for this endorsement of the Transport Workers Union. They are the men and women that make this city run. The economic revival of this city and this country, because the economy of New York City makes the country run, is deeply connected to the public transportation system. And these are the men and women that make it run. So I am happy to stand next to them to let them know that I will be very supportive of their agenda in Washington. And that includes, of course, that we get more funding for the public transit system. I think that New York has not gotten its fair share of funding for public transportation. Other states are getting a larger share of the pie than we are. And we must push very hard to ensure that federal dollars are included in our own operating budgets, that New York City will be able to use federal dollars to address critical public transportation issues, that our public transportation infrastructure is not abandoned, that is part of the future and not the past. So I'm here to stand with them and tell them that I will be the leading advocate in ensuring that that occurs, that rail cars and buses must be built in America, that American jobs must come back, that we must fight for an American-made bus system, cart system. This is important to all of us. You know, we've had enough of these failed international trade agreements that have bankrupted our economy and manufacturing jobs across the country. We need to take that back. And this is the best way to do it, working with the men and women of the Transit Workers Union. They continue to be the people that make New York City run. Let me also say that recently we have gotten some dollars for the rehab of the #1 train in northern Manhattan. And it was this union that came into Dyckman Station with buckling platforms, with a very serious conditions where constituents on a daily basis complain about the conditions of that station. Some felt that it could collapse one day. And the men and women of this union were there working every day. They go into the tunnels, sometimes rat-infested tunnels, with the worst working conditions possible. And they're there to serve as New Yorkers. We must do better for them. We must work to make sure that their quality of life is uplifted, that they have a fair contract, that they're able to negotiate a fair contract that's good for them and their families. They made New York City run. They will continue to be an integral part of the revival of our economy, and I'm proud to have their endorsement. So thank you, Samuelson, for your leadership. You are a maverick. And this country will be saved by mavericks like you. And we have assembled a team of mavericks across the 13th Congressional District. Men and women that understand the critical juncture in history that we are, that we need to have change in Washington, that we must turn the page, that we need to rewrite a new chapter for our communities. These will be the men and women that we remember as pushing for fundamental change in America, to save our democracy, to make sure that working men and women are protected across the country, that they're not pushed aside, that they're not privatized. We need to make sure that we bring back our progressive values. We need to support President Obama and his agenda to bring back hope and opportunities for all Americans. So I'm happy to be standing here. I want to thank you all for your endorsement, and we will continue to work very hard until June 26, where we will bring a bold new voice to Congress for the Congressional District. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.